Hello? In this world, finding someone who loves you and shares a deep connection with your soul is already difficult. Maintaining that loving relationship is even harder. Many couples even have to face obstacles from their families when their parents don't approve of the person they love and forbid them from being together. Yet, in today's tragic case, a couple often called a match made in heaven will make you realize that the obstacles mentioned above are nothing in comparison. Their love seemed to have everything, sincerity from both sides and the support of their families and those around them, only for it all to be shattered by an unexpected tragedy that claimed both their lives. When the police investigated the scene, they found a cigarette butt that played a crucial role in the case. Toledo, a city in Ohio, USA, is an important economic and cultural hub in the Great Lakes region. Situated on the banks of the Maumee River and near Lake Erie, Toledo has a geographical advantage for trade and industry. The city is known for its cultural diversity and rich community activities. Toledo is famous for its glass and automobile manufacturing industries. In addition, the city offers many attractions such as the Toledo Zoo, the Toledo Museum of Art, and Metro Park. Toledo's transportation system is well developed, with major highways and the Toledo Express Airport facilitating trade and tourism. The case we're discussing today also took place in this city. One of the main figures in this case is Johnny Clark, born in 1990. He was only 21 years old when the incident occurred. With his friendly and outgoing personality, Johnny had many friends around him. He was also passionate about bodybuilding, which gave him an attractive, tall, and handsome appearance. His girlfriend, Lisa Straub, born in 1991, was a year younger than Johnny. Like her boyfriend, Lisa was very lively and well-liked by many. Born into a well-off family, Lisa had never lacked anything since childhood, and she exuded a confidence that many admired. Johnny and Lisa met at a dance party, and both were quickly attracted to each other. They soon got to know each other and began a romantic relationship. At the time, both were students, and their families supported the relationship. Since they got along so well and had their family's blessings, they quickly decided that the other was the one they wanted to spend the rest of their life with. After some time together, the couple decided to get engaged. During college, despite her family's wealth and never having to worry about money, Lisa, like other peers, worked part-time at a restaurant to experience an independent life. Each night after her shift, Johnny would drive to pick her up and take her home. In the eyes of those around them, they were a happy couple, and many believed that if they didn't end up together, then perhaps true love didn't exist. Everyone thought they would eventually marry and live a happy life together. But on one cold winter night, a tragedy struck the young couple, leaving everyone in shock and sorrow. On the cold Sunday night of January 30th, 2017, snow covered the streets. The NFL All-Star Game was being broadcast on TV that night. Johnny had gone to a friend's house to watch the game. Around 10 p.m., the time when Lisa finished her shift at the restaurant, Johnny left his friend's house and drove to pick her up. A few days earlier, Lisa's parents had gone on a cruise to celebrate their 25th wedding anniversary. During this time, Johnny had also stayed at Lisa's house in the northwest area of Toledo. Lisa's house was a two-story apartment with a swimming pool in the backyard. Here's the layout of Lisa's house. The ground floor had a main entrance, stairs leading to the second floor, and a dining room on the right connected to the kitchen. The kitchen had a dining table and some chairs. To the left was the garage, directly connected to the kitchen through a wooden door, and the living room with a sofa and TV. Going up the stairs would lead to the second floor, which had Lisa's parents' master bedroom. Lisa's bedroom was on the right, with a small dog kennel, a closet, a bathroom, and a shower. The last room was an unoccupied guest room. At 10:41 p.m. that night, Johnny and Lisa arrived home and called a friend named Tiffany Williams, inviting her over to play pool. Johnny also invited another friend, Zach Burkett. All of them knew each other. Johnny told his friends that he would pick them up shortly and then quickly hung up. Tiffany and Zach, hearing this, waited at their respective homes for their close friend Johnny to pick them up. But they waited, and Johnny never showed up. Both started to worry. Tiffany tried calling Johnny, but there was no answer. Finding this odd, she contacted Zach, and the two friends decided to head over to Lisa's house to check on things. Shortly after, Tiffany and Zach arrived at Lisa's door. They knocked, but the house was silent, as if no one was inside. Fearing something had gone wrong, Tiffany and Zach decided to visit Johnny's parents to see if they knew what was happening with their son. However, Tiffany and Zach were mistaken. Johnny's mother was just as anxious as they were. She had tried calling her son several times, but no one answered. Overcome with worry, she and her husband drove to Lisa's house. Upon arrival, they noticed lights on inside, and through the window, they saw the TV still on. But Johnny and Lisa were nowhere to be seen. The couple knocked, but there was no response. By now, it was late at night and snow was falling. At 1:21 a.m., Johnny's mother realized something was seriously wrong. A feeling of dread washed over her, and she called the police. A few minutes later, the police arrived and checked the perimeter of Lisa's house. They found signs that the snow on the ground had been disturbed, but no signs of forced entry. Assuming that Johnny and Lisa might have simply gone out and hadn't returned yet, the officers reassured the parents, offering them a glimmer of hope. The parents, along with the police, decided to wait a little longer. However, when Johnny's parents returned home, they found Tiffany and Zach waiting at their door. After a brief exchange about Johnny and Lisa, the four of them went back to Lisa's house and peered through an open window. They spotted a phone on the floor, which turned out to be Johnny's. At 2:27 a.m., Johnny's mother, trembling, made her second call to the police. After receiving the second report, the police spent about half an hour inspecting Lisa's house again, but found nothing unusual. With no apparent reason to force entry, they didn't break in. One of the officers pulled Johnny's father aside and told him that while the police couldn't legally enter the house, as a father, he was within his rights to do so once the officers left. Once the police had gone, Johnny's father decided to break in. He took a step back and kicked the door open, and the four of them entered the house. In the kitchen, they were horrified to find two people lying motionless on the floor, both with their heads covered in bags. When they removed the bags, they were shocked to find it was Johnny and Lisa, both of whom showed no signs of life. Johnny's mother immediately made the third call to the police. Soon after, the sound of police sirens filled the air, and a large team of officers quickly arrived at the scene. The investigation was officially underway. At the scene, Johnny's body was found lying on his back on the floor, facing the entrance, with his hands and feet bound with black tape. His wallet was placed on his stomach, but the money inside had been stolen. Lisa's body was found near the kitchen entrance, also bound, with signs that her body had been dragged. The wooden door leading from the kitchen to the garage showed signs of being forced, with the lock badly damaged. In a corner near the kitchen door, the police found a cigarette butt. Upstairs in Lisa's parents' bedroom, the mattress had been moved, the nightstand drawer was open, and items were scattered everywhere. The jewelry box on the dresser had been tampered with, and all valuable items were missing. Lisa's bedroom door was also severely damaged. Her room key was placed on the nightstand, clothes in the two dirty laundry baskets had been rifled through, clothes from the wardrobe were thrown outside, and many items in the drawers were in a state of complete disarray, as if someone had rummaged through them. In the bedroom, Lisa's wallet was left on the bed, but just like Johnny's wallet, all the money inside was gone. Besides the kitchen and the two bedrooms upstairs, many other areas in Lisa's house showed signs of being searched, and the scene even looked like a struggle had occurred. The police found no traces of snow or foreign fingerprints at the scene. On the night of the incident, snow had fallen heavily, so even if someone had left the house, any tracks they left in the snow would have quickly been covered by the falling snow. Therefore, with no clues found around the house, it could be assumed that the intruders had entered the house through the garage. After conducting a forensic examination, experts discovered at least 4 female DNA samples and 1 male DNA sample on Johnny's sweatpants and phone. Additionally, near the door leading from the kitchen to the garage, they found a cigarette butt containing the DNA of 2 men. Based on these clues, the police developed a hypothesis. On the night of the incident, Johnny and Lisa were planning to leave the house to pick up their friends, Tiffany and Zach. However, as they entered the garage, the couple unfortunately encountered a burglar who had been sneaking into the house to steal. Johnny and Lisa immediately ran back to the kitchen and closed the door from the kitchen to the garage. Johnny, who was a regular at the gym and very strong, weighing about 220 pounds, 100 kilograms, held the door shut by himself. The marks on the door might have been caused during this struggle. Meanwhile, Lisa ran upstairs to the second-floor bedroom to hide, leaving the bedroom key on the nightstand. However, the intruder in the garage eventually broke through the door, overpowering and killing Johnny shortly afterward. The intruder then made their way upstairs, breaking into Lisa's bedroom. This theory explains why Lisa's bedroom door and frame were damaged. Given Johnny's weight and strength, the intruder must have been even stronger to overpower him. Or there might have been multiple perpetrators working together to subdue the two victims. After overpowering Johnny and Lisa, the intruders ransacked Lisa's parents' bedroom and Lisa's bedroom. The police found no signs of the other rooms being disturbed. It's possible that this was a robbery that escalated into a double murder when the burglars unexpectedly encountered the homeowners. The police examined Johnny's phone and found more than 50 missed calls, most of which were from Johnny's mother. On the night of the incident, Johnny had contacted 3 friends, Tiffany, Zach, and a man named Anthony Watson. When questioned by the police, Anthony stated that around 10 p.m. that night, Johnny had called and invited him over. However, Anthony declined and claimed that he stayed home all night, providing him with an alibi. One of the 3 friends, Tiffany, revealed that during her call with Johnny that night, she heard him say, "Hey, where are you?" 3 times, followed by the sound of heavy breathing. Johnny then told her, "I'll call you back later," before hanging up. Tiffany suspected that Johnny might have been in a confrontation with someone, possibly someone he knew. As a result, this crime could very well have been committed by someone close to the victims. The police investigated and discovered that on the day of the incident, Johnny had made several phone calls, one of which was to Zach. That afternoon, Zach and a woman had lunch together at a restaurant. Let's take a look at this map. Here's the location of Lisa's house, and here's the location of the restaurant. The 2 places are about 1.5 miles, 2.4 kilometers, apart, and the woman who had lunch with Zach is named Alex Cusino. She had a previous dispute with Johnny and had even threatened him. The issue started a year earlier. Alex Cusino owned a small dog that she wanted to sell. She negotiated with Johnny and sold it to him for $100. But Johnny only agreed to pay half, $50. 2 months later, Alex bought a Dodge car from Johnny for $1,500, paying $750 up front and agreeing to pay the rest later. Unfortunately, the car Johnny sold her had brake issues, and after a short period, one of the tires even came off. After this bad experience, Alex was extremely disappointed and decided she didn't want to pay the remaining $750. This led to a heated argument between the two, during which Alex threatened Johnny. After learning about the incident, the police approached Alex Cusino for questioning. She appeared cooperative with the authorities and admitted to having threatened Johnny, but also insisted that she had no involvement in the crime. Moreover, she was able to provide an alibi. With her consent, the police took a DNA sample from Alex for comparison, but her DNA did not match any of the DNA found at the crime scene. Consequently, Alex Cusino was ruled out as a suspect. During the investigation, the police received information from several sources claiming that there was a safe in Lisa's house containing $100,000 in cash. However, Lisa's parents denied this rumor, stating that their family did not have a safe, nor did they possess $100,000 in cash as people believed. They only left $40 for Lisa to buy pizza before they went on a vacation to celebrate their wedding anniversary. After learning of this, the police theorized that the crime might have been committed by someone who mistakenly believed that Lisa's house contained $100,000 in cash. Motivated by greed, this person might have broken into the victim's home in an attempt to steal that large sum of money. This could explain why only Lisa's parents' bedroom and Lisa's bedroom on the second floor were ransacked. In the following months, the police identified over 40 individuals with criminal records and began investigating them. They compared the DNA of these individuals with the DNA samples found at the crime scene, and indeed, 2 of them matched the DNA on the cigarette butts collected at the scene. One of these individuals was Sam Williams, 24, who lived 12 miles, 20 kilometers, from Lisa's house and was out on bail after a domestic violence incident. The other was Cameo Petaway, 22, who lived 11.8 miles, 19 kilometers, from Lisa's house. With this DNA evidence, the police began to take action. 8 months after the crime, the police arrested and questioned one of the suspects, Sam Williams. When asked about the incident, he remained silent. During his detention, 11 different officers took turns meeting and talking to Sam. He mentioned that he had been incarcerated before and was well aware that murder was a serious charge. Sam didn't know if the police had DNA evidence to convict him, but he knew that speaking to a lawyer would give him more accurate information. When the police asked about his alibi, Sam stated that he didn't have a permanent residence and was living on the streets. The incident had occurred 8 months ago, so he didn't remember much but vaguely recalled that on that night, he had gone with his cousin and 3 other friends, a total of 5 people, to the Bottom Line pub on Toledo-Nawara Road to watch professional sports games and enjoy the atmosphere. However, Sam emphasized that he couldn't clearly remember where he was at the exact time of the crime. The police examined Sam's phone records and mapped out his movements. The Bottom Line pub was here, and Lisa's house was about 12 miles, 20 kilometers, away, a roughly 15-minute drive. According to the investigation, the professional sports game took place at 7 p.m. and ended at 10:45 p.m. Phone records showed that Sam's phone was near the Bottom Line pub at 10:27 p.m., while the police estimated that the victims were attacked around 10:41 p.m., giving Sam enough time to drive to Lisa's house and commit the crime. The police located and questioned the 4 others who had been with Sam that night. They all provided alibis for Sam. During questioning, the police mentioned that they hadn't found any footage of them at the pub on the night of the incident, but the group quickly denied this, asserting that the Bottom Line pub didn't have security cameras and that they knew the police were just trying to test them. According to their individual statements, they stayed at the Bottom Line pub until 1 a.m. and then went to another bar. During this time, Sam had left for a while, but no one knew where he had gone. The police confirmed that Sam and the other suspect, Cameo, knew each other and were close friends. Between 2:38 a.m. and 3:27 a.m., Sam contacted Cameo 6 times. When asked why, Sam explained that he and Cameo were close friends who often shared a cigarette, so it was not surprising that their DNA was found on the same cigarette. However, Sam couldn't explain why the cigarette ended up at the crime scene. Subsequently, the prosecutor formally charged Sam and Cameo with murder. In July 2017, the case went to trial. During the trial, the prosecution's witness, Eric, testified. This man stated that during a conversation with Sam while they were both in jail, Sam had confessed to being the one who killed Johnny and Lisa and had even revealed that he had 2 other accomplices. However, in court, Sam continued to assert his innocence, arguing that the cigarette butts found at the crime scene were planted there by someone trying to frame him. After a month-long trial, the jury finally reached a verdict. The court found Sam Williams guilty of first-degree murder, sentencing him to life imprisonment along with a driving ban. After the sentencing, Sam continued to insist on his innocence and agreed to be interviewed by the media. He stated, "I had nothing to do with this crime. I hope that one day the truth will come out and the real person who killed Johnny and Lisa will be brought to justice." As for the other suspect, Cameo, he was able to provide an alibi for his whereabouts on the day of the crime. Although DNA from both him and Sam was found on the cigarette butts at the crime scene, the court ruled that this evidence was not strong enough to convict Cameo, and the prosecutor's charges against him were dismissed. Cameo was subsequently released. It's noteworthy that only Sam's and Cameo's DNA was found on the cigarette butts at the crime scene, while there was no trace of their DNA on other items, including on Johnny and Lisa. Since there are still some unidentified DNA profiles, it's possible that there are other culprits involved in this case. If Sam is convicted, he might receive a reduced sentence if he reveals the identities of other accomplices. However, Sam remains adamant in his claims of innocence. Therefore, the truth of this case remains unresolved. Whether Sam is the true perpetrator or not is still uncertain as long as he refuses to confess. What do you think? Has the real culprit been caught? Or is Sam just a scapegoat? Don't forget to leave your guesses in the comments below. Thank you for taking the time to listen, and see you in the next video.